round number 5. We have already one game which has just finished, and we have both players here with us, Santosh Vidit and Sebastian Bogner. Thank you for joining us. Please tell us some more about your game.
Well, okay, let's go to the game, I think. This thing is not working.
Yeah, maybe we can just read the moves out loud.
Okay, I think important is after g4 there are two options for black. Because I prepared this line a couple of weeks ago. But I know that after bishop g6, because my mouse not working, maybe...
Yeah, bishop g6.
that's why.
Now it must
Yeah.
work. Try one more
Okay.
time.
No, it's working, okay.
I'll move it.
So
Okay.
well, after knight takes g6, I knew that here after takes g5, knight shades, I think is the best move. And here bishop d2. And yeah, I think this position, it looks very solid, but I think it's, I don't know, I think it's slightly better for white. I think there's some, or first h4, I missed probably.
Well,
Yeah, probably first h4. Probably first h4. But I just played one rapid game with a friend of mine, and okay, I knew that this is a bit tricky, but maybe I still should go for this line. But before the game, I checked briefly this knight fd7, and okay, it looks very risky, but yeah, I checked all the lines, but okay.
Yeah, this was first played by Ledura Benjamin
Yeah.
against Pates. I don't know. how to
Yeah,
pronounce it,
exactly.
right?
It's,
Yeah.
it's,
And in Wakense. So I'd seen that game because I played there, and I thought that this is quite interesting. This is a new concept to give a pawn and then just play for the initiative. And after that, I had a look, and today also I had briefly checked, but I didn't expect him to go here, so I couldn't remember anything, and that was not probably a good sign. So I was spending some time trying to remember my notes at this point.
yeah, probably in such a position, it's better not to remember it. Just enjoy the position, like in case you're not risking too much. Like this position looks so good. After d takes c4, bishop takes c4,
Yeah.
c5. So from human point of view, after long castle, looks amazing for white.
Yes.
And black just moves pawns and his queen basically, and the knight on d7 moved twice to be on the square. So on principle, it looks like it should work. So yeah, we were.
But it's very concrete, this
Yeah.
line. So,
So-
knight c6, rook
So
g1.
let us know, please, where the
Yeah.
let's say preparation or knowledge.
Yeah, I
ended.
remember till rook g1, of course.
Okay, rook h1, Sebastian.
Now,
Yes.
now
Everything
black
is
has
best,
many
yeah,
moves
too.
here. He has many moves, and CD is one of the moves.
Yes.
And I could not remember very clearly, at least.
Yes.
But he played quickly, so
I think it's the only way actually.
okay.
So
but
before-
I think everything else is
So-
Bad,
very,
yeah?
very bad. yeah.
After CDED, before continuing with the game, let us just mention that someone from the crowd noted that you sacrifice 4 separate pawns at the same time. And probably it's something that even can be done intuitively over the board. And it's quite an artistic position where white just gives black a huge choice of how he wants to be attacked. So yeah, here, Sebastian, have you
Yeah,
seen this
if you-
before?
This
So,
line or?
yeah, this position.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And,
I knew the
yeah.
position, but not that every pawn is saying. I know that it's very risky. I mean,
Yeah, knight d4 is met with queen a4, right? That's why it doesn't work.
Queen
a4.
a4.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this
think so.
pin, and there's rook g4, bishop g5, all kinds of threats.
Yes.
So queen d4 is correct.
The
I
only
think queen
move?
d4 is the best. Yeah.
And now I was considering bishop e3 during the game. No, e3.
Ah, sorry. e3.
Queen c4, and now rook g4, and the queen is trapped. But there is knight b4. No, no.
Ah.
Knight
this
b4,
is, yeah, rook c4, knight c2, king c2. And I thought even in the end game I have some kind of initiative. So I was thinking between this and knight e4. But I remembered vaguely that knight e4 is supposed to be good, and I was trying to work out the lines.
And
He played knight c5 very quickly, yeah. So he
this
was
is
in
a
this-
little bit scary at such a point, yeah? Where
Yeah.
your pawn down and your opponent's still blitzing the moves.
Yeah, I was not happy with my preparation at this point. I thought, okay, why didn't I check this line more carefully?
Yeah.
Here, Sebastian showed me some fantastic lines, like after knight c5, queen
Yeah.
c5, bishop e3, right?
Yeah.
Bishop e3, queen h5, queen b3, knight a5, and what was it?
Queen d3. Okay, you can repeat moves with queen a4, knight c6, and then back queen b3 and queen d3. I checked this before the game. Bishop e7, queen d7, bishop takes e6,
e6, bishop e6.
e6, yeah, and
Yeah.
rook d8.
Everything makes sense in this position.
Yeah.
Rook where?
Rook d8 and
Okay.
well, after take on d8 everything, and then king e7. No, bishop g4 here, best move. And then queen takes g4.
There is no check, yeah.
Yeah,
So rook g4.
rook g4, rook h8.
Rook.
Sorry, rook takes d8.
Yeah.
Rook takes g7. Rook c8 I think is best. King b1 and rook h8.
Rook c8 very important.
Yes.
King b1 and
Rook
and
h8.
rook h8. I still prepared bishop d4, knight c6, king c3, king e6, and I thought, okay, I will hold, but maybe
Yeah, this is a completely
King
crazy
e6 very important move.
okay.
No, but it's well, admiring memory and level of preparation, and yeah, I am sure you will relate to the fact that whenever you prepare such a long line and work so hard, the opponent usually plays something else, and then
Yeah, that was the problem during the game. I realized what I'm doing after knight g5, and it's quite unpleasant actually, and that what happened.
yeah,
And I couldn't solve over the board.
yes,
This
Your
was
probably h6 was interesting.
yeah.
And now, knight e6.
Wow. Have you
And
calculated h6?
Yeah, I think it was calculating too. This
so now he
h6
can
stuff.
take with knight or the pawn. I don't know which one is better. So let's say pawn takes, which looks more logical. Queen g6 check.
Yeah.
King e7. Now bishop g5. Hg, rook d4, knight d4, queen g5, king e8. And now check again, king e7, and now rook d1. I was thinking is a try to play for a win, but I was not sure what's going on.
Well,
It's a complete mess. And
can
maybe
I
rook-
count the pieces for a moment? Sorry, I just didn't follow
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah.
So you have two knights and a rook in exchange for a queen and a pawn. Yeah?
Yes.
So, but the king is slightly misplaced, and
So rook
that's a
d-
risk for white if he's able to consolidate somehow.
Yeah, if black consolidates, he'll be. I mean, if the king is on c7 or something, it's very nice.
Yeah.
But maybe concretely, I mean, I saw that at least I have a draw whenever I want with queen
Yeah,
g5.
yeah.
So rook d8 here.
Yeah.
Now maybe queen g5.
Yeah, that's
king
a very
e8,
nice.
And now
Yeah,
queen
makes
e5
sense.
or something. I was thinking.
Yeah. Very
Okay,
nice
I don't
technique.
know what's the evaluation of this position.
Yeah. So when
Knight
playing,
c6, huh?
oh, sorry.
Knight
Knight
c6.
c6
yeah.
probably.
Can I play queen c7 or no? Queen c7 is dangerous. Maybe rook d8.
Knight or
King, I would say.
king?
Ah yeah.
Yeah, and
Looks
the
fine
knights
for
are
me.
perfect
yeah,
in the
yeah,
defense.
Yeah, it looks fine. Maybe
Um,
white has to be more precise.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm misplaying something.
Wow.
Maybe there is rook g4 instead of rook d1
Yeah,
with
maybe.
ideas of rook f4.
Yeah, maybe rook
Well,
g4.
Usually,
Yes.
when there are such long lines with
Okay, there's so many possibilities.
with
for
a lot
white.
of, let's say, with an unclear valuation at the end, it's probably a good idea to get back to the start, like, and
Yeah.
then search for more candidate moves. But that's a very advanced technique in such a crazy position where your opponent has many moves and you have to calculate knight g5. Then it's very smart to find this forcing sequence that you have at least a draw, and then you say, if he plays h6, then I'll find something else, and then you move on to calculate other lines, and you feel safe.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're out of the book.
Yes,
In just
yes.
position, I thought that at least I would draw. Yeah.
And that's a very good thing to note. And probably had he played h6, you would delve into a long think and search for the...
Yeah, I mean, white has only two moves, knight f7 or knight e6.
Isn't rook g4 an option?
That's also there, which I didn't consider so seriously.
Yeah. Bishop moves come to mind as well.
Yeah, maybe rook g4 is also an option, but queen f2, rook f1, yeah.
I mean,
Ah,
yeah.
rook g4, maybe he just plays hg or something and gives the queen. Who knows?
Well,
Yeah,
Bishop g5. I don't know the material balance, but
yeah, probably just doesn't work.
seems like white should lead by material eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So the queen cannot really move anywhere because it gets hit. Right?
Right. Rook g4
Queen
is a strong
f6
move.
looks.
But
no.
then, yeah,
Yeah.
bishop c3. Yeah, this looks bad. So
Yeah.
maybe rook g4 is an interesting option.
Hmm.
But knight e5 is also good, I think.
Yeah, 95 looks like a strong move at first, and
Yeah, bishop e2 I
Yeah.
think is the only move.
yes, exactly.
And now queen f2. I thought this is the way.
Mm-hmm.
The point is bishop c3. And it looks like I'm threatening. I mean, bishop e5 is not a threat because queen e3 is coming. Let's say black should play here h6, I thought.
Or bishop e7 maybe. Yeah?
And bishop b5 is also not a threat. It's kind of funny.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I missed actually. Yeah, because then I can play maybe bishop e7, no?
Bishop e7, then king b1.
Okay.
So we can put it on the board. So bishop e7, king b1.
Yeah,
Now
king
I'm
b1.
threatening both bishop e5 and bishop b5 at the
Yeah,
same
it's too
time.
much, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just to.
There is queen h7 mate.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I was about to touch the king. Yeah. Queen h7 is coming in case I touch the king.
That's why
Too
h6
quickly.
is probably
So that's
better
why
than-
h6 instead of bishop e7, which
Yes.
is no.
Ah, sorry.
Instead of bishop e7, I thought it's very precise.
King b1,
King b1 and now queen f5.
queen f5. Uh-huh.
I have to take on f5.
Is it really forced?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm, okay.
So takes ef5 and now knight f3. And even in the endgame, I keep some initiative.
Can I just offer this silly looking move? Probably it's not so good, but yeah, I'll be a pawn down in the end game, yeah? Anyway. Just
Yes.
take on c2 and you're a pawn up. And
Bishop e5. And the thing is now he can just play bishop e7 and castle, which I don't like. Maybe he can give a check first, but yeah.
and this is a draw, yeah? Or-
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I thought queen f5. It's funny, the line doesn't finish here. ef5, knight f3. Now you have to probably take on f3, bishop f3. And black is 2 pawns up, but it's very dangerous still.
Yeah.
You can't really untangle. So you're knight e4,
No,
Yeah.
bishop e4, fe4. Now it looks like it's almost done, but rook d4. f5, rook d5. And I'll probably collect f5 and e4, and there is still some pressure on g7.
Wow. So this is a good attempt for a win.
But it should be draw, like rook d8, rook d7, and
Yeah, rook d8 looks rough, yeah.
no, first maybe check.
King?
Yeah, and then I take.
Where? g8? I don't know where to put it.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
you go
guess.
to d7, yeah, not to
Yeah, okay.
f7
Yeah.
or ef.
Yeah, the rook f5 now. Okay, still, I mean, that's what I saw, that there's
Yeah.
still some pressure, but probably this was the best for black, because after knight d3, I didn't see a defense.
Wait, but what if bishop a5 here?
Bishop d6, does it work?
Rook g7.
King c6.
Rook somewhere. Wait,
But
here.
black is fine here.
Yeah, maybe even better.
Wait, wait,
even
rook
better,
d.
yeah.
There are no, but maybe rook f5 simply, or just.
But
But
then
even
why
if
you?
I lose g7,
But, yeah,
doesn't
but
Yeah,
why
matter.
you
bishop
allow the
a5.
bishop to come out?
Yeah.
I think it's also. I
So
mean, instead of
kings-
rook d4,
Ah,
I can play this rook
uh-huh.
to e1, f5, and now rook d5. Probably it's a better move. Now I for sure collect f5 and e4.
Yeah.
Mm.
Seems like white is playing for an advantage in this endgame.
But yeah, but there's too little material.
Yeah. And so this line started with queen takes f2.
Yeah, it's a very deep line after.
Yes. And probably it's not the only option, but it's the one that came to mind as the forcing sequence. Yeah.
Yeah.
So bishop c3
And h6. Very
and
important.
h6. Yes. It's funny how probably both players are just thinking of moves for themselves, and then okay, he will choose, and then I will see, instead of just calculating everything up until the end. And
Yeah, I mean, only engines can do that.
yes. So knight ed3.
Yeah, it was just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, after this, I think it's a very bad position.
Yeah.
King b1.
Yeah.
It's just very bad.
Knight b4. Yeah. If knight f2, we
Bishop
saw
c3.
bishop c3
Yeah, it's
and rook
just
df1, and probably there is no way.
Isn't rook d4 trapping the queen?
We didn't really analyze deeply. We just searched for an idea.
Yeah, this is just game over.
Yes, rook df1 was threatening h6, but that's just childish.
Also rook f2 is
Yeah. So yeah, rook d4 was better, and yeah, knight b4 was probably the only way to try to fight. And there was some nice little idea after queen c1 to take on a2 or something, or maybe we're imagining.
I didn't consider queen c1 or anything else.
Problem is bishop b4 is so easy and good.
Yeah.
Why would
It's just and then rook g4 is just winning the spot.
Yeah.
I was thinking if I should start with h6 or first go rook g4.
Ah, okay.
Yes, exactly.
That's
You
what
were
I was
actually
considering.
thinking for something like 20 minutes.
22 almost.
Yeah, we were kind of surprised because it looked so obvious, and the difference looked also so not obvious or at all. But I mean,
Is there a difference? I mean,
we
I don't
were
know.
not sure
We-
if it was decisive or
We
not.
just said that both of these options are valid. Let's look at other games before we see what Vidit decides.
Yeah. No, I mean I
Yes.
made the mistake against Peter when I had a very good position that I played too casually. So I thought I'll try to figure out exactly all the details. And
Yeah.
after rook g4, queen b6, h6, I just didn't see a move for black, and I went for it.
Yeah, me neither. I couldn't find a move.
I'm glad you agree.
I decided.
I mean there is no threat even actually in this position.
Yeah, it's completely lost.
So h6, g6, yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
desperate.
G h6, then knight
But
f7
what to
is
do?
winning.
Yes,
I
yes.
think it's just lost.
We found knight f7.
Yeah. Probably best
Yeah,
move
we
is to
calculated
resign,
it till the checkmate.
Yes, we even showed everyone how to calculate.
All the checkmates
Yes.
there, I guess we found
Are
them.
you sure? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So g6, queen c3. Yeah,
And,
queen f6 doesn't work after queen c7 and queen e7.
Yeah.
So I thought knight h7 is clean.
Yes, the cleanest, and bishop h6 only move.
Yeah.
And here basically we calculated up till the end.
Yes.
It was the same as
Yeah,
in
we're
the
very
game.
happy at this specific game. It means that it's not only high level, but it's also instructive. So knight f6 check.
Yeah, king e7. Rook b4 is very important.
Yeah.
I think if queen c7, I have rook d7. Maybe
At
there
least
are,
rook-
there are, yeah,
We
maybe-
thut knight g8 and rook c4 would be the
yeah,
easiest.
Yeah.
I also thought that
Yeah.
at least both of these lines are good. Queen
Yes.
e5 is only move, and knight e4 is very important.
Yes.
If this rook to c8, then queen f6, king f8. Now knight d6 also probably wins, like rook c7, only move, check, king e7, takes, queen b4, knight f5.
Yes.
If you take, there is queen d8 mate.
Yes.
So knight f5, king f6. I was thinking queen d8, king f5, bishop g4, king e5, and I didn't see how to continue. Like, I mean, if the king goes to g7, it's kind of a pity. So
There must be something simpler
yeah,
earlier.
yeah, here knight c5.
Uh-huh. And just
If queen c5, then I check,
and rook
and then
b7.
rook b7. This wins. I didn't see knight c5 like immediately. Only after I calculated a bit, I found knight c5. Yeah, but
Mhm.
after knight e4, it's already busted.
Mm. Yeah, this is looking like the simplest. And the point is that after queen takes b4, you have something like knight
No,
e6 or
no, queen h8.
queen h8 and rook
King,
d7.
yeah, that's the point.
Checkmate. Okay, nice. So, yeah, very good line. And then after knight e4, there's not much to do.
Yeah.
Rook c8, and then what happened in the game, very straightforward. And here, I
We had
suggested
two
I
options.
suggested knight
Knight f7.
c4, and Dina suggested knight f5, and I won.
Congratulations.
So just know on the final move that you can consider different options just
Yeah.
because people are placing bets. So anyway, yeah, knight f5 might be a quicker idea. She always suggests the better moves, but I like to capture the queen. So anyway, the point that we probably should ask you about is the one that we already mentioned. This moment where you thought for 22 minutes, so that's a very important lesson. You learned a lesson from your game against Leko, where you had a winning position, but he lasted very long and almost rescued himself because you were not precise enough when you had a, let's call it a concrete chance to win.
Yeah.
And in this line, even though probably you saw this idea after 2 or 10 seconds, I don't know, this h6 rook g4 idea, you decided to calculate everything until the end and make sure that there are no chances.
No, I mean, I didn't calculate everything
Okay,
till the
but,
end, but I saw in most of the lines that white has a very good position.
So
So I was just trying to be precise. I mean,
Yeah.
in which line does black have comparatively little counterplay?
yes, so to put it more correctly, you made sure that you can't find a defense for black in
Yeah,
all the lines.
Which was more unpleasant for black, basically. That was
Yeah.
the line of the thought.
And so my question on this particular moment is, okay, first of all, you are aware of the mistake with Leko and the fact that you don't want it to happen again, and you recognize this as a critical moment. But how do you find the strength to just tell yourself, okay, let's not try to, let's not rush. Let's stop for 20 minutes or so, or for as long as I need to calculate everything and make sure that I find the most precise move. Like, how do you find the, let's call it the inner motivation to do it in this specific moment where everyone would have this instinct to just...
Yeah, in this position, actually, it doesn't matter so much, I guess, between h6 and rook g4 because the position is really quite good. But usually when it's more complicated, that's the real test, where there if you can, figure out the details. It's just basically about being precise, trying to calculate accurately. And in this position, it was easier than the game against Peter. Also, there I was short on time. I had like 15 minutes, and here I had the luxury to think. So why not to utilize the time? That's what I thought.
So just to be more clear, so for top level players or even average titled players, it's probably not such an easy task and almost obvious to sit for 20 minutes and think. But for the viewers at home, is there any probably simple advice for how to improve their skills to just recognize, when they recognize this moment, to be able to just sit for 15, 20 minutes and calculate properly? Maybe a book, maybe some general...
No, I guess when you solve a lot of combinations, you kind of sense that in this position there could be something. So you develop this feeling, and that's when you know that, okay, you have to stop, because your intuition says that, okay, there might be something, so let's pause and think. And that's basically what you train at home. That will help. So if you solve more combinations, you will know at which point to stop and figure out the details, which is the critical moment basically.
So let's say for club player levels between 1400 to 2200 who want to be international masters and more one day, would you recommend to solve simple tactics or the more tough, not which one is more important, but for this particular topic,
I always, whenever I solve, I always start with the easy. So
yes.
Maybe I'm a bit lazy, or I mean, I like to solve initially some easy ones, and then I go to the tough ones.
So what's your record on Puzzle Rush?
I don't know.
I
don't
know we
remember
will
anymore.
fall for this trap.
I don't remember anymore. It's
That's
something
good.
51, 50, I don't know.
All right, rather
Don't
impressive still.
It's okay, it's okay. We don't count the numbers, just the precision. If you did it with no mistakes, that's what I count. But that's a different discussion. So before we summarize everything, may I ask you about your opinion of the other very sharp game that we have now?
Sure.
Yeah. Board number 4 between Corey and Shankland. We haven't seen the development yet. So last time we stopped, we were at the position here, where white played knight h6 check, king f8 and g takes f5, which looks completely winning. White is a pawn up and has a huge initiative. Black tries to hold on with c4 and rook c8. And then after e6 we stopped. So first of all, your first impression about this position, and then how the game proceeded.
Sam was rook down against Corey yesterday in the Blitz game.
And won.
If he survives this position as well, I mean, he should just buy a lottery ticket. Because his luck is really
Yes.
Well, for
proving
me,
quite powerful.
Yeah.
it means that Corey must be in a kind of psychological pressure because he knows already that he has got already a winning position against this player before, and now it's the same situation, and he knows that he has already failed. It means that it makes it a little more difficult, practically speaking, to win this position.
Yes, and
Also, he was in time pressure.
let's have a quick look of the time
Now
situation
40
right
moves
now.
are over.
Yeah, but just judging by how many time each one has. No, we don't have an update of the time. Anyway, after e6, c takes b3 was played. A takes b3. The knight is not really hanging because d7 is hanging as well. Bishop takes e6. f6 by white. Rook c6. It seems like it becomes a little bit more complicated than necessary. Fg, king d7, queen d3, queen a3, knight g4.
I would not play knight g4. I was thinking maybe just queen h7. You
King,
take this. This cannot be bad.
Because you are capturing and making a check and
and
Yeah,
rook
it looks
f4.
really good.
Rook f4 eliminating.
Yeah, and just give the.
So
rook if
let's
needed.
have a look. Where should I put my king?
f6 probably.
Now rook f4.
You can wait. Queen g6, king e7, queen g7, king d8 or something. You have to.
Yeah, king d6 loses to queen f8.
Yeah.
This
No, knight b5.
Knight b5 mate.
on knight b5 mate with a fork,
So king
and then
Okay, now I'll probably take on f4 just.
just to be safe.
Yeah.
And
This should be lost now.
yeah, it looks very close to lost, but
Yeah.
that's
It's
the
not so
trick. If
clear.
you don't see the
It's-
clear
yeah,
way,
it's- yeah,
then
it's not so clear.
it could go wrong. So he played knight g4 after 8 minutes of thought. Bishop g8, which is a move that can be missed sometimes. Knight e5.
Hold on. Then
Yes.
after queen h7, king f6, you can go knight g4.
Uh-huh.
This is probably winning just.
And if I take, then rook f4 and queen g6.
Yeah, and just take the rook. Just
Oh,
finish.
just a piece up.
Yeah.
so
So,
wait.
maybe king f8 is.
this was like a very easy way actually.
No, maybe king f8 after queen h7.
Yeah, king f8 is probably forced. And now it's really hard to find this concrete line. Probably the same line we mentioned started with king, queen h8 and so on. But really hard to find something, some forced win. May I suggest something like this and maybe a silent move like this? Or
Rook
queen
c3?
c3, yeah, I can't see a follow-up, unfortunately. No, so queen g7, king d8, and then it's hard to find a move.
Just 1 minute.
No. Yeah. This
That's the
looks
point, yeah.
critical.
If you don't see something, you cannot really go for this.
Hmm.
Okay, we can see the game probably what happened. So knight
Knight g4, bishop g8, knight e5, rook b6 by black, queen d1 defending b3, and now bishop e6. And white is a piece up for a pawn, but his
Still-
king is slightly weak.
It's still not easy.
Yeah. So objectively speaking, what do you feel? I mean, it's hard to say without calculating, but what's your intuition, both of you?
It's still very good for white,
Yeah.
but it's not easy anymore.
Sebastian, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's winning. Should be winning, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a matter of
Should be winning, yeah.
just
93 was
neutralizing, neutralizing the
Shouldn't
black
be too
threat.
difficult either.
Hey, it doesn't look too difficult, but
Yeah.
95.
95.
No, then
Rook
rook
b6.
a6.
Rook a6.
Okay, six.
Yeah, very tricky stuff.
Yeah.
Bishop f5, and now suddenly bishop d3 could be a
Maybe
threat.
knight c5 and just go ruthlessly for the exchanges.
Rook b3 is not
Okay.
Yeah.
enough. Yeah, it's not enough. Yeah.
So how do you evaluate Corey's chances for win here, judging by the fact that he must have lost some kind of part of advantage?
It's no surprise that I'm rooting for him.
Because
of
Sam
what
is
happened
being your current
in the
reader.
Blitz? Yeah.
Because
it's your-
Sam is being your current concurrent. Is
yeah,
that what you mean?
chasing you on the...
Yeah, he's basically
Yeah.
the guy who is chasing me.
Yes.
The leaderboard.
So and also for what happened in the Blitz game. So yeah.
No, I mean yesterday Sam had like mate in 1 against, he was like, they were mate in 2 against Peter Liko. He survived that. Rook down
With
against,
the rook b5, amazing. Oh, sorry, queen b5,
there was
amazing
mate-
queen
mate in
sacrifice.
2, and not just 1, like 3 types of mate in 2.
Okay, I didn't know this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
This is crazy.
so yeah.
Wow, very impressive stuff. And yeah, this is probably still very close to winning, but very tricky as well. So we will not go too deep into the position. We appreciate your opinion and all your insights. So
Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for your comments and some precise lines in the openings, revealing some interesting details which we have not seen before. This is Santosh Vidit and Sebastian Bogner for the round number 5. Thank you. We will be back very shortly.